I'm back. Road Rants for Black and White Sports. So, many moons ago on this channel, one particular subject was starting to get real steam. Something I was covering a lot on this channel, and I had gotten really interested in, was the XFL. The second incarnation. There's a ton of videos on this channel about the XFL. And we got a lot of subscribers just off XFL content. Well, as we know, the virus hit, knocked the XFL's relaunch down. There's some other things we know about the XFL. The ratings were pretty good. The ratings were, particularly the games, even in its last week, the games got really good ratings on the actual network television games that they had. If it was on ABC, if it was actually on Fox. Now, they were starting to have to do some maneuvering because of other sporting events that were going on. So, in other words, you started getting some games on FS2, ESPN2, but that was pre-planned. Okay, but the sentiment was the XFL was coming back for 2021. The virus hit, the wheels fell off. It's unbelievable. Vince decided to relaunch it, and a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic hit. Well, as we know, Vince filed bankruptcy, Vince McMahon, and it went up for sale. Well, bids are coming due for the XFL today. Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio. If you're interested in buying the assets for the now defunct XFL, now is the time to make a move. Ben Fisher of Sports Business Daily, today is the deadline for making a bid for the resurrected Spring League's carcass. Fisher notes that the interest in the league isn't clear, especially in light of the current status of the pandemic. The XFL's parent company said in its court filings that there were at least 20 potential buyers that had signed non-disclosure agreements in order to conduct due diligence reviews of the company, and that each one wanted the XFL to return next year, 2021. TV contracts will be an issue. As noted in a previous article, both ABC, ESPN, and Fox believe that their deals with the XFL can't be given to a new buyer without the consent of the networks. Okay, so in other words, the networks, I guess, have some form of approval for who buys this thing. And I've even speculated that maybe one of the networks themselves might buy it. But the problem is you've got a competing network involved. So I don't know how that would necessarily work. Now, there's a couple of other things. One of them is NFL related. The NFL, it looks like, will have 80-man rosters instead of a 90-man roster. No preseason games. I was listening to a podcast the other day. I believe it was John Middlecoff. And he was talking about the fact that this particular year, according to an NFL GM that he talked to, you may see a greater number of 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks in the NFL get cut as opposed to previous seasons. And teams may look to opt towards more veteran players. Well, that could be good news if the XFL was to return, because you've got a bigger talent pool. Okay, you've got a bigger lump sum of talent to start drafting from if the XFL was to come back. Players that would, according to this NFL GM, may have made an NFL roster with the preseason, they won't even get a chance to. It'll be cut all due to the you-know-what. Now, you've still got the virus to contend with for next year, which may end up being a problem for the XFL. Maybe they would look at returning in 2022. Now, to carry off of that, I think there's a couple of things that XFL needs to do, and this might not be popular opinion in certain areas, but I think that they should trade out some cities. I made a video on this. There's places where the XFL blatantly worked. Houston, St. Louis, rabid XFL fans. Seattle, the XFL worked, 30,000 fans. DC, they were selling out a 20,000 seat arena, and it looked good on TV. I will say this, DC's on TV product, because of the fans, of course you got the pandemic, DC's visuals on TV looked really good. Okay, so that's Dallas. They drew fans, but one of my issues with the XFL was what it translated to on TV. You would watch an LA game, even a Dallas game, and they were playing in stadiums too damn big. Even though there were fans there, the stadiums were too damn big. And it made for a poor television product versus them playing in St. Louis, which was sold out, or Seattle with 30 and 35,000, in Houston where they were filling it up. Now, I think it's easy. I think you get rid of LA, which was drawing like 11,000 fans. And I hate to say it, it's a toss-up between the Guardians in New York or the Tampa Bay Vipers, but I'd get rid of one of the two there. And I would look at two places where the AEF, the Alliance of American Football, was extremely popular. San Antonio, 30,000 fans a game. San Antonio, people do not realize, is wildly rabid for any pro football team. They showed up in droves. Even the last game when they knew the league was imploding, 30,000 fans in San Antonio. So a league will absolutely work there. Does it make it complicated considering you got 3 Texas teams? Yeah. But football is king in Texas. It is what it is. The other place would be Orlando. The Apollos from the AAF were very popular down there, drawing 20,000 plus. They are starved for a pro football team. In other words, you need to get away from drawing 10 to 12 to 13,000 and get up to 20 to 25 to 30,000. And that will help. It'll help your own screen product. It'll just help bring more validity to the league. And, of course, as with any of these leagues, you got to get better quarterback play. That's the toughest part about making these other leagues worthy, because quarterback is what drives the ship. But there was some really good defensive play in the XFL. And a couple of these teams, P.J. Walker's now a Carolina Panther. He was going to be the MVP of the XFL. Jordan Ta'amu, maybe, in St. Louis. It was a battle, but PJ was ahead. Tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. The XFL, we should find out something pretty soon. Bids should be coming in. Bids should be received today on the XFL. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.